to Share the Live, The Street 919 FM.
The Street 919 FM. The only entertainment and talk. Updating you with current affairs and social issues.
So what, we should just sit down and take the foolishness that's being meted out because you feel that all you're real bad?
Right? Unlike his situation that I don't even want to go back and bring up and highlight.
You don't have a good record where that is concerned.
Having you in the loop with trends and entertainment. Providing music that lives on. And spiritual food for the body, mind, and soul. The Street 919 FM.
My sound and they call it the steel pan. Make the bad guns them put down the guns and exchange them for iron. And when we rub that oil on the body and you hear that sweet man melody calling, it's Tuesday morning. So down to earth that they say it's something in the soil. And for all its worth, some say it's oil in the coil. But deep down inside the station, you could hear a song and a rhythm calling.
Good afternoon, Trinidad. Good afternoon, beautiful Tobago, and of course the rest of the world. We are on the inside. Naka and TC, we are here. Naka, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to the 919 family. I missed you all yesterday. Truly.
We're going out here. Trying something new, a new hairstyle today?
No, I just try. I know now. I really don't know. I know.
All right. It looks pretty anyhow.
Thank you.
All right, you look magnificent.
Sometimes it's good to go natural.
Yes.
You know.
Well, we are here. I'm Trinidad and Tobago. You can join us live on Facebook, on Instagram, or on YouTube as well. Right, you know the handles. You can link up with us and come join us, chill with us in studio this afternoon. We're gonna start it easy with the greetings.
Yeah, we'll take up the greetings.
Yeah, now that we're down to 2 hours, we can't go too far with the greetings. All right, and then we're gonna jump straight into it. So,
yeah, because we are real hot off the press. Bacchanal news.
Yeah. So
trending.
Let's start with the greetings. Find out from Trinidad and Tobago how your day was. Short and sweet, and then after we have some videos we have to play for you. So we're gonna play the first one, and then after that we're gonna start the conversation, and then in the second hour we're gonna play the second video. Hi, good afternoon, welcome. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your boyfriend here next door gave me a baton yesterday, summer, as the worst thing on the radio. Anyway, that is all right. You see, Brooklyn, before I say greetings to you,
all we're doing is greetings, right?
Yeah, Brooklyn, we're doing greetings.
All we're doing is greetings right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that as a PNM person, but most of all, my music is played on all the other radio stations, and I'm rated among the best songwriters of all time. So, Brooklyn, catch yourself. Okay then.
All right, we're
doing greetings. Right. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. TC and Mrs. Naka.
Good afternoon, we are good.
Cool, man. We cool. How things on your side?
Right, okay, well, I just want to call to say good evening. Good program as usual. I see that's all they now coming. But TC.
Yes, sir.
Now, I know you say you're taking greetings person. Now, when I hang up the phone now, with the way how the line has been so busy, I may not get back in for the rest of the evening. But there's something I wanted to adjust. And you know that I say when you get an opportunity, they start to take charge one time.
Yeah, but you have to hold on because we're only doing greetings right now.
All right,
right?
Okay,
you will get back in, don't worry. You will get back in, all right?
Cool, no problem.
Yeah, man, cool. Because if I let one person start,
then everybody
has something to address. Yeah. So we're just doing greetings right now, right? Just about 10, and then after that, we're going to play a video and jump straight into conversation. Hi, good afternoon, welcome. Yes, good afternoon.
Strength and pause, man, TC, man. Turn up with show.
Yeah, man, thank you.
And love.
All right, man, thanks so much. So, Naka, how was your day today?
It was good, I was home preparing for the hot topics that's trending in Trinidad and Tobago. I had to touch on Tobago with the hot topics too. Tobago had to get in the things.
Well, all right. Hi, good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Naka.
Good afternoon.
I miss you very much yesterday.
Oh, Lord, I'm feeling that miss.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon as well. Good afternoon. See the people miss you.
Yeah, they miss me. Oh gosh, yesterday was.
Yeah, I know it was.
Yesterday it was real hard for me. It was tough, and I was like, gosh, it was so spur the moment. It was real last minute.
You wanna jump into the things one time, Naka?
Yeah, because well, y'all.
Yeah, but why Robert doing this? Why Robert?
No, you want me to fix the thing?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing here. Let me. Right. Look, Robert done fix it already. He does move fast. Right. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. One of the volumes loud. All right. Right, so we're gonna jump into this.
Prasad Bisesa said that they built 100 schools while they were in office. I heard of that nonsense last week again. They built 100 schools. I want to ask the media, to ask Mrs. Prasad Bisesa to give you, the media, a list of the 100 schools that they built when they were in government.
I think that he spoke about on the political platform approximately a week or week and a half ago. And that is that he wanted us from the opposition to give him the list of schools that we have constructed during our period 2010 to 2015. But it is incumbent for me, as the former Minister of Education, to give the names of the schools because the Honorable Prime Minister has asked for the lists of the schools. Under the management of Mrs. Bisesa as Prime Minister, the Ministry of Education constructed and completed 69 early childhood education centers, 31 primary schools, 6 secondary schools. In addition, additional blocks were built at another secondary school. And for answering the Prime Minister's question, the 31 primary schools completed, and it will include those schools that were opened in 3 of the sitting ministers now in government, including the Prime Minister. The Rosilat Presbyterian Primary School, Riversdale Presbyterian, Tunapuna Government Primary, Balmain Presbyterian, Pinal Rock Road SDMS, Mount Pleasant GPS Soledad Road North Claxton Bay, Palo Seco Government Primary School, Lengua Presbyterian Primary School, Arima New Government Primary School, Tulsa Trace SDMS, Barrackbo Asja Rees Road Barrackbo, St. Barbara Spiritual Shouter Baptist, Echo Village Anglican Primary School, Monkey Tongue Government Primary School, Febo Village Government Primary, Enterprise Government Primary, Union Presbyterian in Hermitage Road, Manzanilla Nariva Government Primary, Lower Komoto Government Primary, Kanhai Presbyterian, Charlieville Presbyterian, Egypt Village Government Primary, and the Minister of Public Administration would remember when we opened her school together at Rosehill RC at 6 Lacoule Street, Laventille Road, East Dry River. Rio Claro Presbyterian, Grand Street, and the Minister of Finance now will also remember when we went up to Paramin and we opened the Paramin RC school in his presence. And we have photographs to demonstrate that. And also the Honorable Prime Minister would remember when our Prime Minister at that time gave him a yellow buttercup when we were opening the Point Kumana RC Belleran Street in Point Kumana. 26. And New Grant Government Primary, Capdeville Government Primary, Pinal Queenam Government Primary, Monroe Road Hindu SDMS, and Durham Village SDMS. Mr. Deputy Speaker, these are the 31 primary schools that we constructed during 2010. The 6 secondary schools completed were the Marabella South, Gopal Lands Marabella, Aranguez North Boundary Road San Juan, Couva West Secondary at Balizier Street in Couva, Princestown East, Matilda Junction, St. Julian Village, Princestown, with the member for Princestown, 5 Rivers Secondary School, which is now ravaged, St. Augustine Secondary. An additional block was completed in Diego Martin North, St. Lucian Road, Diego Martin, with 17 additional classrooms. The Haji construction was paid $60 million by that last administration, and they left the country without doing anything to these early childhood education centers. So we had to inherit many of these contractors who they were supposed to be paying to construct those 24 early childhood education. And amongst them, so out of the 69 early childhood care and education centers we constructed, Aranguez Johnny King Road, Arima New, Aruka Pine Haven, Bamboo in Jafat Street, Bamboo, Ben Lomond, Bonaire at corner of Olivine Avenue and Blue Mussel Street. Brothers, number 73 Garth Road, Williamsville. These are the early childhood education centers. Buonintento, Hillside Gardens, Carlson Field, Tasker Road, Cashew Gardens, Caroni SDMS, Cora Royal Road, La Goya Road, Cora, Clark Rochard Road, Clark Rochard and Rochard Road, Current Hills, HDC site, Kunjal, number 214 Kunjal Main Road, Kush, the corner of Kunapo, Southern Main Road, the Kush Village, Edinburgh South, HDC site, Egypt Oasis, in Das Trace in Kunopia, Egypt Trace in Endeavour Road, El Dorado ECC, Enterprise in Cedar Road, Faizabad, number 22 Road, Gasparillo ECC, Golconda, Harmony Hall, number 24, Jacob Hill, 25, La Horquetta, South Gladia Street, La Horquetta, La Rofin, Lisa Gardens, Lower Komoto, Madras, Malabar, Pomegranate Avenue, Malabar in corner Lennox Yearwood Expressway, Polybitodio, 7 Flamingo, Maloney in Jacana Avenue, Maloney Gardens, Maloney in Flamingo Boulevard, Maloney, Marabella, Light Pole 51, that's number 35, Maracas, ECC 36, Mirage Hill 37, Maraval, Montcoco Road, I pass there and I see it all the time, Mendez, Pinal Queenham Road, Milton, corner Temple Street and Judingham Drive, Morva, Mount Hope, Pioneer Drive and Sunshine Avenue, Monroe Road, SDMS, Warren Road, Kunupia, Oropon Gardens, number 44, Palmis, 45, Phoenix Park Road in California, Pleasantville, Prince Albert Street, Pleasantville, Quarry Village, La Brea Trace, Ragunanan Road Enterprise, number 49, Rancho Comado, number 6, South Trace, Rancho Comado 50, Ravine Sab, Londonville, that's in my constituency, Reform Government, ECC Reform, Retrench HDC site, Roystonia in Salakal Drive, Salazar Trace in Salazar, Point Forte, Sonny Lado, ECC, Southern Gardens, Springvale, ECC in Springvale, St. Ambrose, Anglican, Jackman Trace, Kunupia, St. Anne's, number 8, St. Anne's Gardens, St. Anne's, number 61, St. Augustine Corner, Warren and St. John's Road, 62, St. Barbara Spiritual Shelter Baptist, members will remember that, 63, St. Columba Anglican, 64, St. Mary's Village, 65, Union Hall, 66, Valencia in Armadillo Drive, New Valencia Gardens, Valencia, Wallerfield, corner of Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Amazon Drive, Wallerfield, Warrenville TIA, Robert Trace, that's number 68, and number 69, Wellington Road, HDC site, Wellington Road, Davie. So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, in answer to the Prime Minister's question, we have in Parliament today given the list of the 69 early childhood education centers which we constructed and completed, the 31 primary schools which we started and completed, 6 secondary schools which were completed by us, and an additional block. Mr. Speaker, these are the 169 ECC centers, 21 primary schools, 6 secondary schools, completed under the Kamala Prasad Bisesa administration.
This is the time when the waistline and the bassline takes control. Hey! This is the land of oil and music, music for the soul. Children, are you ready?
20 past the hour. 20 past the hour of 5 o'clock. All right?
You're ready for my answer?
Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Because that 8 minutes was the most painful 8 minutes of lies.
How that
I hear
lies,
in my life.
Naka?
Those schools that Mr. Tim Gopi Singh was talking about was schools that are refurbished and that was fixed.
But even
they
though,
never built 160 something schools between 2010 and 2015. I have never seen the People's Partnership UNC turn any solid to build any school.
Naka?
let's tell me if I lie, you know.
I have to really disagree with you this afternoon because wait. Some of the schools there, give me a second, let me speak. I can speak for what is in my constituency, like the Febo government primary school. That school was dilapidated, right? They did reconstruct that school. Even though it's a reconstruction, it's a beautiful reconstruction.
Okay, but listen to me. You hear these people say that Bell School? Listen to me, that is refurbished. Fable School is a refurbished school.
You're starting to sound very, very, very poor.
No, but I am telling you the facts.
Because that could never be facts.
Have you ever seen the UNC turn any sort of bell any school?
Your weak conversation
between 2010 and 2015 because I am asking you the facts.
Your weak conversation
I'm asking you a proper question.
So you want no.
Have you ever seen the UNC turn any sort of bell any school? Most of the schools, which has 90%, were refurbished and fixed.
Okay, so
they met
let's just say that what you're saying there, right? Your misinformation is true. Let's just say that your misinformation is true. They still refurbish 100 and something schools.
But the whole point is you're not understanding my point. My point is they say they build schools and never build them schools.
All right, let's just say
that they when they come into power.
All right, they didn't build it. They refurbish 100 and something school. That is still a lot.
But they're not understanding. You still not understanding my point to know. They spoke about how many schools that they built. Kamala said that on a platform. How many schools they built? That is a lie.
Okay.
If they had come, listen. If they had come and say, the schools that we met when we came into power, we refurbished and we did some renovations. Then I would understand that. But don't come on a platform and lie and say build 100 and something schools.
Again,
that's nonsense.
Again, the lie. Okay, the lie.
But the lie.
Right.
Building and refurbishing is two different things.
All right, the lie. Right. But refurbishing 100 and something school is still a great achievement.
You're still not understanding what I'm saying.
You don't want to admit that.
I am not saying you didn't hear the point I make.
You understand?
The point I made was if they had say we refurbish 100 and something schools.
Because I am sure
and I'm gonna tell you something, and that was already into play when PNM was in power. They just continued the contract.
I am sure
they just continued the contract. It was concluded.
I am sure that you heard, right? Not all them schools was there that they thing. You understand? It has schools there that they turn sod for. It have schools there, guaranteed they turn sod for.
Tell me what school they turn sod for. If they don't come and tell me what school they turn sod for.
You're asking a foolish question because you did not even know that they had this kind of evidence.
What evidence? Pictures of things that already fixed. I want to see things start with 2 blocks.
Because on Monday,
I want to see starting from 2 blocks come up. I don't want to see something that's already there. Because that was there since the PNM started. When the PNM was there before, it wasn't to play, and they just continue it.
That is not true at all.
And that is facts.
That is not true. That is not true.
That is facts.
I can't sit here and let you do that. That is not true. You have no facts on that. You have no facts on that.
Let us take some callers, and you tell us what you gather from the video that was shown.
I watch. You see, I look at people, right? And I watched when that video was played. You didn't even watching that screen.
I listened to I don't have to see Tim Gopi sing. Tim Gopi sing is not somebody for me to watch.
You wasn't even watching that screen.
But I was listening to what he was saying. I am watching it on my phone.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tissy. Good afternoon, Naka.
Good afternoon, honey.
Naka, I met you yesterday grossly.
Oh, gosh. Thank you.
Let me tell you something yesterday. I watched that screen. I dialed that phone for 132 times. I ain't getting yesterday to see.
Yeah, that's a lie, mommy.
What's wrong with you?
Mommy, that is a lie.
Let me tell you something, Tissy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
So wait now, so mommy, I screened your call yesterday. That way trying to tell me?
I didn't say that.
Nah, you can't tell me that. I will take your call any day.
You're not going to see when you say something. Let me talk now, please.
Go ahead.
Let me say what I can say.
Go ahead.
It's only when somebody gets in a jumping factor. Naka, yesterday, I called. When I see that number, it's full of that. I start to redial. And all kind of people get in there, and although I sharp on the fingers.
Right.
I wanted to tell TC yesterday, he looks so handsome. I called him man to tell him I love him, and that man, I watching TC in the eye, watching the phone, and he would take my call.
Mommy, you don't know how difficult the calls is here.
I do not lie. Naka, I do not lie. I saw my mother. And the other man a time in the phone that I can't get in. Up to now, I ain't getting in.
Nah, he maybe was taking him plenty calls.
Mommy, I will never screen your call. I don't like what you're doing, Mehdi.
Nah, but he don't know your number, though.
I take that to heart, man.
Nah, he don't know your number. He don't know your number.
Mommy,
so
I take that to heart. I take that to heart.
Let me talk. I was watching Amadi live right now, you see?
Right.
And I see that ghetto rat calling Naka and ghetto. And I bet, you understand, telling what come out from the ghetto. Paul Saran, catch yourself, eh? I know where you come from. I don't know where you come from. Don't compare that class in your dirt. That's very disrespectful of you this afternoon, Paul Saran. Because I know you drinking rum and jump all over the...
Who is that, Mommy, who are you talking about?
I'll say I'm on the live.
Right.
Listen to be good to see.
Yes.
I was on the live, my name is business, you know.
Right.
Long neck Paul Saran from the Labas.
Right.
Call right up and say, Naka song like a ghetto. Why must say that?
Lord have mercy.
Let them talk whatever they want to talk. It doesn't, that's their business.
Go get in my car.
Well, you know what? You know what? I'm an educated ghetto. So if they want to call me a ghetto, I'm an educated and certified ghetto.
The first time I got words about a young woman, you see, you that analyst where you say will be in Thomas years, you will be a
leave them alone. All right, mother. Leave them.
All right, mother. Mother, don't hurt your head now, God. But I take offense that you're telling me, mother, I didn't want to answer your call. You understand? I will never do that, mother. I will never do that. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, TC.
Good afternoon.
No, I'm here calling out schools, but I want to tell you something. Before Satmaraj died, he's the one I was used to say on this program because I used to watch his program right through. Right. That he didn't get his school. So I don't know why this happened. During that same time, he said he didn't get his school. And he had a thing raised up in his hands. He said you had to give him Bodo. Like what he used to raise in his hand when he ain't get something done when he wanted to do. So he and him go be saying hard to get away for his school. So that is one wrong.
Could we take we can take a fast one. We have about a minute to go. Hi, caller, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We have about a minute to go, so you can make a contribution in a minute or you could call back.
Well, Tabakit here, I'll have to call back. You hearing me? Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Sister Naka, this is Tabakit. You were calling out Tabakit to bring evidence. Sister Naka, I'll come back in. I love you, darling.
Okay.
But, Sister Naka, the facts is the facts. Can I ask you one question before we go before the break?
Go ahead.
Sister Naka, if you bring a builder, you have a wall and it fall down, and the builder will build that wall, what would say the builder do to the wall?
You see, that have nothing to do. The analogy have nothing to do. The analogy have nothing to do with what we're talking about.
This is the time when the waistline and the bassline.
And so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM. Catch all your favorite shows live on Instagram.
We're live on Instagram.
The Street 919 FM. What are you waiting for? Go check us out on Instagram today.
Them say we don't know how to marry, we just they worry.
This Father's Day, show your dad how much you love them by entering our Songs for Dad giveaway on the Street 919 FM. When you hear the Father's Day ad play, get ready to call in. You have 30 seconds to sing one song dedicated to your father. The most entertaining rendition wins. Be one of 20 people to win loads of prizes for your dad this Father's Day on the Street 919 FM.
Happy Father's Day to every man where they fight for their responsibility. Happy Father's Day to you.
Sponsored by Carib. It's the way we play.
Calling all primary and secondary school students. Tune in every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. for our Young Leaders of Tomorrow segment, where we open the lines and test your knowledge on current affairs in Trinidad and Tobago. Sponsored by Starbucks, Dave Service Station, and Guppy's Service Center Limited.
Hi friends, we want to invite you to our 7th National Day of Prayer as we stand in the gap for the protective services of our nation, Trinidad and Tobago. Join us on Monday, June the 19th from 2 p.m. at the Woodford Square in the city of Port of Spain as we stand in the gap and pray for our Commissioner of Police and police officers, for the Acting Commissioner of Prisons and prison officers, for the Chief Fire Officer and firemen, for the Air Marshal, Defense Force, Coast Guard, and Air Guard, declaring, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord," Psalm 33:12. It is our 7th National Day of Prayer, Monday, June the 19th, 2 p.m., Woodford Square, Port of Spain. See you there.
For a new on-the-go experience in radio, simply go to your Android device and download Instant Radio. Select Trinidad and Tobago and click The Street 919 FM so you can listen to us wherever you are.
This is the voice of Tuesday, Seventh-day Adventist. We are preaching Emergency Alert broadcast, which is from the Tuesday Seventh-day Adventist Church. We will be featuring voices of brethren from different parts of the world, preaching the gospel, preaching prophecy as it relates to current events and the ending of the world. Listen to us on 91.9 FM every Sunday from 9:05 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Sundays. May God bless you as you learn the truth. In Jesus' name, amen.
Tune in to The Street 919 FM every Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. with Kingdom Health Services, situated at number 125 to 186 Eastern Main Road in Tunapuna. For the program, Health and Healing, merging the old with the new, with Mr. Brent Diet. For more information, call 318-7471 or 484-0141 or 360-4100. It's all about Kingdom Health Services on The Street 919 FM.
Conscious Talk, where we are at and where we are going. After a storm, there is a calm. Where there is darkness, light follows. Where there is evil overcometh. It's Conscious Talk with Steve Antoine. Every Thursday from 10:25 a.m. to
live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Right, so we're jumping back inside immediately with your calls. We want to hear from you, Trinidad and Tobago. Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good morning. You see, we are happy.
Excuse me?
I say we are happy that we have a bottom that thing we can do teaching and when you can look at the my former education minister.
You're breaking up,
for somehow we're not hearing you clearly at all.
I said that the judges are rebuttal to that by former education minister last year. You should pay that.
And if you have it, we would love to have it. Yeah, just send it to the WhatsApp.
I didn't have it.
Well, you see, that's what I'm telling you. So if you have it, we would love to have it. You understand? Because I don't want half of the answer.
You got that.
That is
the same
something
way you got that one.
Right. As a
I
caller, you see, that's the problem with you. As a caller, send it to me. So if you have it, send it to me and I will play it. It's very simple.
What I will do tonight, I will look up for the rebuttal. And I will play that rebuttal for you tomorrow.
And that is what I'm saying. If a caller sent it to me.
I will play that rebuttal for you tomorrow. I will look up for that on.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome.
YouTube and find it.
Good afternoon again, Mr. Tabakit in the house.
Yes, good afternoon.
Sister Naka.
Yes, Mr. Tabakit.
Right. So let's get there for time. I don't want to stay long this afternoon.
Yeah.
Look, one of the things we have to start doing in Trinidad is give credit and move on. The only person who will be grateful for the schools to be rebuilt is the children. And Naka, let's face it, and I'm saying this not because as a UNC, but why it is every time anything that is good from the UNC, we tend to want to fight it down. And before I left, I think I really couldn't do justice because the break came in. So let me ask you the $1 billion question again. You have a wall at your home. That wall fell down. You take a builder. Construction term, the only term you will use for that, the person rebuilt it.
You pay the builder to reconstruct the wall. You didn't pay. Let me tell you something. You pay the builder for something that was there and it probably need refurbishing. That is not building something. Not something that was already put to paper and pen and was already passed through certain. You cannot say they build that. That is just reconstruction, sir. Do you know the definition of reconstruction and building?
Listen, Sister Naka, to the end of the day, when you're going to pass a plan, and if something wrong with tongue and country, and I can tell you, okay, it's only one term you would use. You need to build. You need a builder. To the end of the day, I want to come off the phone to allow other people. I am saying to you, congratulations to the United National Congress. Who would have benefited out of that is the children. And I think we need to reach to a place. If something is good, let us say it's good. Because it's the UNC building 100 school, Naka, take off your political cap, tab it out and off.
Let me tell you.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon, Naka.
Good afternoon, CC.
Good afternoon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now, refurbishing, I know about construction. Refurbishing and building is two different things. When you refurbish, means that you are just repairing, replacing, reconstructing. When you are building something, you are building it from scratch, from foundation to finish. Correct?
Correct.
They said that they built 100 and how much schools? Good. Did they build those 100 and something schools from scratch, or did they meet some of those schools already in the construction process, maybe 50%, 60%, 80%, and they just continue it, finish it, and then they say that they built it. No, it's not so, because they met it at a certain stage of construction, whatever the case may be. When you build something, you build it from scratch. When you reconstruct something, is when you meet it already in the process of being built, or as Tabaki say, you break down a wall, that wall was there already, you're just rebuilding the wall, you're just patching back up the wall.
Thank you.
So where it is in the UNC statement that, that they build these schools from scratch, and this is what they have to prove.
Caller, I want to ask you a question. At any time during 2010 and 2015, have you seen UNC turn any sort to build any school?
I saw a couple of schools because I used to.
That was already in plan.
No.
That was already in plan. Since under the PNM.
Naka, you're wrong. They turned sort to build some of those schools. All the schools was not reconstruction. Some was built. Some was built.
Some were built from scratch.
I am telling you, that is why I'm not arguing that point with you, because you're arguing a point that you don't know about.
So you know the bill, the bill from Fable Village?
No, I'm not speaking about Fable Village.
No, but you can speak for your village.
Listen,
but you know the bill, eh?
You're trying to be...
No, I'm not trying to be, because you're saying...
You are trying to be...
I'm trying to get the definition of your bill.
You're trying to be foolish.
And reconstructing.
No, you're trying to be foolish.
I am trying to know, I'm trying to understand your construction and reconstruction.
I made it very clear that Fable Village was a reconstruction. Caller, didn't you hear me say that?
Yes.
Fable Village was a reconstruction. You asked another question where if they had turned any soil at all, and I told you, yes, they had turned soil. That's why I'm not arguing that point with you. Because they did turn soil. Whether it's 3, 4, 5, 10, I don't know, but they did. You understand? They did. You're arguing a point there that makes no sense.
But did you argue the point earlier on that they build the schools? You argued that point earlier.
No.
And I had to correct you.
No. You're wrong. I said to you, I said to you, listen, I said to you very clearly that if they didn't rebuild it, they lie. I said they lie. They didn't rebuild it. Yes.
What Naka is trying to say is that if you beat a school already in construction,
all right,
you can just finish and you continue. You finish the construction.
Okay.
You cannot now come and claim that you have built that school. Have built that school.
And call, I would say it again. From beginning I said that is why I made this statement about my constituency and Febo Village. That was not a school that was built from scratch. It was a reconstruction. Right? So I know for a fact that all the schools there was not built from scratch. Right?
So they cannot claim that they built 100 and something.
Okay. All right, but you're still, all is still missing the point. All is still missing the point. The point is, they didn't build it. Let's just say they lie. They didn't build all them school. They lie. They reconstruct it, right? But even though they reconstructed, that was a great achievement.
Okay.
It was a great achievement.
If they had come out and tell the truth and say, yeah, what, we refurbish 90% of the schools, we would have understand, okay, because they met it there already and it was already in plan. But don't come and lie and say, oh, they built it. That is my point.
But you see, you're saying things there that you don't even...
I am saying simply just don't lie.
You have to go and check the information first before you come here and say that. You cannot say that they never turn any soil.
I have never seen them turn any soil. I can tell you that.
Right, but
that is why I'm asking. No, and that is why I'm asking callers if they ever see them turn any soil.
And that caller said yes.
But I never see it. I am speaking on behalf of me. I never see it.
Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon, TC. The place fiery, boy. I don't understand this anger. It's song like how I used to song on the radio. But anyway, I want to ask Naka this question directly, right? Mm-hmm. I talking from my area, Mova. TC, well, you know where I come from, you know.
Right.
We have a school called Market School in the Mova district, which was demolished under the UNC between 2010 and 2015, and is on foundation stage at the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
UNC broke it down and started to build it. If PNM finish it at Naka, who built the school?
Well, then it must be PNM just finish it. That is all. I'm not disputing. Listen to me. I'm not disputing that fact. It goes both ways. But what I'm saying, don't come and lie.
No, I understand what you're saying. I was asking a question.
So if the school was there before, Market School was there before, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And UNC, they demolish the school?
They demolish it, yes.
Under UNC?
Under UNC, yes.
And they rebuild it?
No, they started to rebuild it and the government changed.
Okay, but the question, let me ask you the question, right? Let me ask you the question.
All right.
When the school was there and UNC came into play and they demolished it, the question is, if it was a plan before when the PNM was there or if it was UNC's plan. That is all.
Naka, I understand what you're saying, but I just want you to understand what I'm saying too. Please.
Mm-hmm.
Don't beat me up now, don't beat me up. I'm trying to make sense out of everything now. So I'm asking you now. Yes, it could be a plan under the PNM. UNC came in, saw the plan as government. That is what the government's supposed to do, Naka.
Yeah.
We build schools and continue. Not stop because the next party build it. Stop it. No.
We're not saying.
Let me ask you a question, right?
We're not saying no, you know.
Let me ask you a question, right? 106 schools started under the PNM. 106. Let me just say that. No soil wasn't turned. Right? 106 schools started under the PNM and completed under the UNC in 5 years. Right?
Right.
And UNC could go on a platform and say, we completed them school or we build them school. They lie. And they say, we build them school, right? Yeah. You know, one school in Mova started under the UNC. 8 years after, it can't finish under the PNM government. But we here, but they're quarreling about if they lie or not. They're quarreling about if they lie or not. And I who living in a PNM stronghold must sit down and I must sit down and take that.
I think TC missing the whole point. The point that we had on Monday. Listen to me, the point we had on Monday is the man say UNC built so much schools. I said that is a lie. Right? He came, the man sent the information and wait him go up sing, stand up in parliament, come not stand up on a platform and say they build the school. I am simply saying, why are you lying? You didn't build nothing, you refurbish it. Come out and tell me we refurbish it. You meet the plan there already. That is all my argument, you know. I'm not arguing what PNM and doing what thing. Just don't lie. That's all. That's my whole argument.
I can finish now, please.
Go ahead.
Now, here when you could make that big argument there, right? You see this argument you're making here? Is when you go tonight and get the
I am surely going to get the rebuttal.
Thank you.
I am going to get it.
That's a weird because my parliament is the place where they talk. Where they can't really lie too much in there. So if he said, and he come out and say it in parliament, they're supposed to have a response.
Yes, they will have a rebuttal
so we
for
can't
it.
Jump and preempt it. We can't jump and preempt it and say he lied. Because he could really be telling the truth and PNM don't have an answer to it. So all I'm saying simply, Naka, is
I will bring it for you, honey. Honey, don't worry. You don't worry.
Alright, my school in Mova was broken down under the UNC. Started a bill under the UNC. Government changed in 2015. From 2015 to present, as we speak, it was never touched. Never. And that's what we're supposed to be studying and asking ourselves why it was never touched in 8 years. Enjoy the afternoon.
Yeah.
Good noise.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right, let me clear up the air. Right? When that was raised in the parliament, Minister Garcia was Minister of Education at that time, debunked 99% of the schools that they built, because he come out and proved that some of the schools they were claiming they built was already open running a couple of years before they came into power. I would like you to go and get into the answer and get the records.
Yes, I will do that.
TV that everybody could have seen and they play it on even on TV6 in the night after that. Oh, come on, man. This is history. So just so when they go start to argue about how it is they never did thief anything in the airport scandal. Although people make jail and people say yes, if people from here thief the money, two of them. We talking about history like if it never happened. So you go tell me next slavery never happened, right? Come on, man, don't do that.
All right.
Don't do that. This is facts. It's already done, and let me move on from here. Let us not be beaten up on foolishness and lies. Let us try and see how we can develop the country to go forward in a proper manner. Don't come and rehash stupidity. That's why this country can't go nowhere now. Because of foolishness like this, what you are doing here. Trying to make a lie a truth. I know if you repeat a lie plenty time and serious enough, people will take it for truth. But that will not work with certain people in this country. Let us move forward. I am fed up with this foolishness. You all try to continue to perpetrate on the citizens of this country with lies. Nothing in the endorsement. Lies. Let us do nation building and stop this foolishness. I go.
Thank you.
Thank you, caller. All right, so...
Hi, good afternoon. Yeah, we'll take...
Good afternoon to you, TC.
Yeah, good afternoon.
And good afternoon to you, Naka.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. It is sad to see a young lady will try to deny the little children that had a comfort in those schools and them. And in those pictures on them that I see Dr. Rowley get a new school. I see Cole Imbert get a new school. I see Marlene McDonald get a new school. In fact, I see all the PNM areas of them that didn't have school get new school in that picture over there. Let me don't deny that fact. Don't keep a blind eye to those things. But Naka, I want to say something. As you don't have no confidence that they build 106 school. The People's National Movement have been representing the people of Trinidad and Tobago for over 60 years. And in that 60 years, the East Indian and them become multi-millionaires. The Chinese and them become multi-millionaires. The East Indian and them become multi-millionaires and they remain East Indian. The Chinese and them become multi-millionaires and very wealthy and they remain Chinese. The Syrians become multi-millionaires. They own most of the wealth in this country and they remain Syrians. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
The Africans and them remain PNM and they remain PNM with no money. How sad that is. And those things happen when young African people deny the future generation the truth and the reality of what's going on. You see that young guy in the bottom over there that get a scholarship and become a lawyer today? He get it from Makandal Daga organization. You know, Makandal Daga was supporting the United National Congress and young African people just like you cuss Makandal Daga, say all kind of things about him. And today they're very proud of that young boy becoming a lawyer. But they did not even say, well, I recognize Makandal Daga Foundation and applaud him for that. But I'll continue keeping a blind eye and we'll see what will happen to especially a tribe. You see?
Yes, sir.
Have a wonderful evening.
Yes, good afternoon. Have a wonderful evening. We're going to the break. When we come back around, we have another video we want to play, so go up on the live, right? And this is another interesting video. I would urge anybody out there that has the rebirth for the video that we played first to send it to us. We would love to have it.
Yeah.
Yes, we would love to have it. I am a balanced person and I will continue to be balanced. So if you send it, we would play it so we can hear the answers for what the Minister of Education said at that point in time, right? Whether it's lie or not, right? He went to the Parliament, he presented his evidence, and it stood in the Parliament. You understand? I want to hear part 2 of this. I am interested to hear it. Send it and we would play tomorrow if we have, well, tomorrow when we have the time to play it. You understand? But for now, when we come back around after the break, we have another video to play for you, all right? We'll be right back.
Music for the soul. Children, are you ready?
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
Pressing issue.
Why are you doing your supporters that? Playing games with the senior citizens in this country?
Real situation.
It's our lot of people involved in white-collar crime. And why are they not being brought to the forefront?
That something is happening in this country that is so strange, that is puzzling me. I'm trying to figure it out.
If the police have cause to arrest you for evidence based upon evidence and investigation, is it whose fault it is that it have to be UNC people?
Stick up in. Call a good afternoon, welcome.
Heavy conversations with the relevant authority.
Should the bandit have on a body cam so I can believe you? Members of your family shooting this one, shooting that one, taking your car. Should there be a body cam for me to believe you?
They had to live with the tongue because that is all they're good for.
All right, Dr. Maraj.
The best crime plan can be put forward, but if we don't turn to God
we doomed. We in problems. Or on the street. The street.
And plan, and who them depend on.
When the poor man cries,
We bring it direct.
does anybody hear?
Hardcore. The street. 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street. 919 FM.
Catch all your favorite shows live on Instagram.
We're live on Instagram.
The Street 919 FM. What are you waiting for? Go check us out on Instagram today.
The steel pan, the only musical instrument invented in the 20th century, is a reflection of the perseverance and innovativeness of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, which have always been central to our development as a nation. And the steel pan story epitomizes this, carved out of life and struggle and determination, rising out of the spirit of the African drum. The steel pan stands today as evidence of innovativeness, creativity, and passion for life integral to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. My name is Kwesi Paul. I am your host, inviting you to join me each and every Sunday from 7 to 10 p.m. for the Evolution of Steel Pan Show, live on the street, 919 FM.
Daddies, them say we don't know how to marry, we just they worry.
This Father's Day, show your dad how much you love them by entering our Songs for Dad giveaway on the street 919 FM. When you hear the Father's Day ad play, get ready to call in. You have 30 seconds to sing one song dedicated to your father. The most entertaining rendition wins. Be one of 20 people to win loads of prizes for your dad this Father's Day on the street 919 FM.
Happy Father's Day to every man when they fight for their responsibility. Happy Father's Day to you.
Sponsored by Karim. It's the way we play. For a new on-the-go experience in radio, simply go to your Android device and download Instant Radio. Select Trinidad and Tobago and click the street 919 FM so you can listen to us wherever you want.
Get ready for an exciting new show. Ask the Lawyer International Edition with attorney Brian Figueroa from the Big Apple, New York. Join us every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the street 91.9 FM for one of the hottest topics: immigration to the U.S., visitors visas, entertainment and business visas, religious visas, plus starting and doing business in New York, and more. Tell your family and friends, Saturdays 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on the street 91.9 FM. Visit www.askthelawyer.us for past shows. Are you ready?
Join Pastor Kelvin Heinerine and friends for The Way, The Truth, The Life Radio Ministry, a Church of God ministry, live on the street 919 FM from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. This and every Sunday on the street 919 FM. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father except through me. John chapter 14, verse 6. For further information, contact 686-3845, 349-5178, or 342-7303.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Where we come from, I tell you it's oil and music. From the weekend, I tell you we have it. There's a rhythm on the street, the beat making bacchanal, and one set of ruction. but the one we love too bad.
Right, so
we are back.
Yes, we are back 2 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock. Remember, we're only here for 2 hours now.
Yeah.
Right, so we're trying to fit everything in this 2 hours. Right, we have another video that we want to play. Right, well, it's 2 pieces. Right. So Naka, what we're gonna do? We're gonna play the first one now?
No, but before you do that, remember the hot topic that started off the week was the misinformation that came on the front page of the Sunday Express concerning the Heritage Stabilization Fund, where they said we was at a historic loss of $913 million US. This came from Mr. Jwala Rambaran. However, he named be kind godmother. Spreading a set of propaganda because you know we're in the election season. So it is okay, it's well and fine, it is expected. And then the Prime Minister on Monday the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance had to come and debunk the misinformation that was spread on Sunday on the front page of the Express. And the Finance Minister said, let me see if I find it here. I could have played that piece. All right. So the Finance Minister said, the value of Heritage and Stabilization Fund is the same as when government inherited it back in 2015. So that's just a piece of information. So 3 factors of the Stabilization Fund. There's a great deal of misinformation in the public domain at the moment with regards to the state of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. The truth is that investment funds are not fixed deposit accounts. There will always be unpredictable shifts in how the market performs. Where well-run companies based on sound economic principles are concerned, these disruptions tend to be temporary in nature. Historically, as we can see, is very much the case here. The market and well-managed investment funds will always find a way back to profitably in the medium to long term. So before I give you the 3 factors, last night on TV6 News, if anybody was listening to the news, we had an economist, which goes by the name of Miss Marlene Arts, was interviewed on the morning program by Mr. Marlon, and she made her neutral statement concerning the propaganda and lies that was spread on Sunday. So the first video I will show, and after that I will come back and give you the 3 facts of the Heritage Stabilization Fund, and then we will go back to the second video where she concluded. So if TC could play that first video with her neutralized, she was very neutral in her statement. So listen carefully, come on the live, and listen carefully to her morning interview yesterday. Yeah,
Alright, thanks again for the opportunity. It's interesting. I'm heartened in a way that this conversation has emerged, albeit, it's going to be caught up in some of the politicking and the noise around the local government elections. But I'm heartened in the sense that I think Trinbagonians need to mind, we need to mind our business, and the Heritage and Stabilization Fund is in fact the business of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So that's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make is that the minister is correct, and in the Monday Express, another colleague and myself essentially endorsed the minister's comments yesterday that what has happened with the Heritage and Stabilization Fund is not unusual, and there was no real need to panic, not just yet. So let me put that in context. The Heritage and Stabilization Fund, as some viewers may know, and as I said in my introductory statement, it is the business of the people of Trinidad and Tobago because it was established as a sovereign wealth fund. What happens in countries that are dependent on non-renewable resources such as oil and gas, as in the case of Trinidad and Tobago, what has happened is that you essentially create a fund where you put some of the earnings from this non-renewable resource into that fund so that it is available for future generations. It is essentially conceived out of the concept of sustainable development and meaning basically that because we have the opportunity, we, the current and present generations, have the opportunity to benefit from the oil and gas revenues that we earn, we should not spend it all, we should leave some for future generations. So that's one part of it. And the second part of it is that because we are so heavily dependent on revenues from the oil and gas sector, and we recognize that the revenues from the oil and gas sector are volatile, so sometimes you may make a lot of money, sometimes you don't make a lot of money. Part of the fund is also to help stabilize in those times. And then there's a corollary to that second point. When you have unforeseen circumstances that significantly impact on your revenue streams, such as what happened in COVID-19, you have an emergency fund, so to speak, a rainy day fund, so to speak, no pun intended, given the heavy rainfalls that we've had over the last 48 hours or so. So I think that's the first point of context that we need to have. And because the fund really is based on income flows that may be volatile from time to time, you will see some volatility.
Yeah. So, you heard what she said, because I had to do all of my meals. I'm a big editor. So I had to do my little editing to give you all some information that she would have gathered. But before I play the second video, this is a fact. So did you know the net asset value of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund was $5.466 billion US, which is 37.17 billion on Friday, June 9th, 2023. This represents an increase of 754 million US, which is 5.127 billion TT dollars, in the actual value of the fund since September 2022. Excluding a deposit made in December 2022. The fund has generated comprehensive income of almost $600 million in that time. That is one fact. We go into the second fact. The net asset value of the HSF increased by $327 million US, which accumulated to 2.224 billion TT dollars in the last 6 months between January 1st, 2023 and June 9th, 2023, without any deposits into the fund being made by the government during that period. We're going down to the last fact. So did you know, in spite of the withdrawals that were made from the HSF over the last 7 years and 9 months to the fund, the national budget during periods of difficulty, which we will include the COVID, as well as the adverse but temporary effects of the very challenging year by the global stock markets in 2022. The net asset value of the fund now, as which is say from June 9th, 2023, of approximately $5.5 billion is the same as it was in September 2015. That is what they would have inherited. So we go into the second video from The Economist from her neutral statement.
The story because the Express was reporting a $913 million drop, and I think that maybe what the government tried to do was to say, look, is wrong. Did we suffer this $913 million drop?
Well, as I said when the Express contacted me, I've not seen the actual report and I've not seen the investment portfolio. But if it was a $900+ million fall, US dollar, let me explain what happened.
Yes.
When you put money into the Heritage and Civilization Fund, when the government deposits money into the fund, and there is a legislative framework that essentially outlines how deposits are to be made when the government earns surpluses, etc. The money doesn't just sit in the fund. What then happens, it is then invested as part of an investment portfolio, because what you're trying to do is to maximize returns from that money that you have earned from the energy sector. So the money is going to be put into the fund, and then the fund that is managed by its board of directors and the fund managers, they will identify different types of bonds, different kinds of stocks, an entire suite, an investment portfolio as it is called, into which they will then further invest that money that was deposited into the Heritage and Civilization Fund, with the hope that Trinidad and Tobago is going to earn more, earn interest, etc., off of its investments of these earnings from the oil and gas sector. Now, what has happened, when you put money into that fund, it is really part of the global stock market. And between 2020 and 2022, as we all know, there have been vacillations in the global financial market, which will have caused... So one thing that has happened, and I think we're painfully aware of that in Trinidad and Tobago, we've been hearing a lot of conversation around increased inflation. And what happens when inflation is increasing, and it has been increasing globally, and we have been importing some of that inflation, and we're seeing it in terms of our food prices, governments around the world will then adjust their interest rates as a way of trying to control the inflationary pressures. So the Federal Reserve Bank in the United States had been doing that aggressively as part of its monetary policy. And I think I saw a report up to yesterday on the weekend where the economists in the US are anticipating that the Federal Reserve will continue to increase their interest rates. That has been happening in the Bank of England aggressively as part of their monetary policy suite. It has been happening in the European central banks, etc.
Doctor, if you would allow me, in fact, the minister has said this is an increase of US $754 million in the actual value of the fund over the last 9 months since September 2022.
Yes.
He says, excluding a deposit it made in December 2022, the fund has generated comprehensive income of almost US $600 million. So I think the question is, Doctor, has the government been prudent?
The government has essentially, I can't say whether they've been prudent, but what I'm saying is that there will be some gains on occasions and there will also be losses, and the net impact is what we need to look at. I don't think we should really raise an alarm because of some exogenous factors, and the interest rates that are impacting on our investment portfolio are in fact exogenous factors. I don't think we should be raising an alarm because the markets will be volatile from time to time, and we always have to look at the net impact. And coming in with the surplus that the minister would have enjoyed towards the last quarter of last year because of rising prices in the energy sector, he would have made some additional deposits into the fund. So I think the headline of the $900+ million US dollar loss, I think, while it may be the case, and as I said, I've not looked at the report in detail, that may be the case, but the net impact, I think, from what the minister has reported in his statements yesterday, the market has rebounded sufficiently in terms of our investment portfolio in the Heritage and Civilization Fund to have reduced that loss of $900+ million. That is what I am taking away from his statement yesterday.
Doctor, if you would allow me,
we back.
I'm only getting this thing wrong right through, but I'll get there.
You'll get there.
Yeah, so we're back on the
Yeah, so
inside,
we are
Naka.
back on the inside. So you all have seen, I told you all what the information that Mr. Chwala Rambaran would have been spreading rapidly, like rapid fire.
That information now just get me depressed. I'm telling you here why. All right? I just always think about the man on the street anytime I open this mic here, I just think about the man on the street. So our government is actually making some money off of the oil and gas industry as they speak, right?
Yes,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me go. Don't start to attack me now.
No. I'm
you
not,
don't start to attack me
I
already,
never attack you. I was going to continue with saying something, but go ahead.
Right. But yet still our government is telling us tighten our belt. Yet still our government is telling us that all the how much years in our back we cannot be paid. Yet still our government is telling us, here what, we have to tax only a little more. Yet still and that has been my issue. So we banking billions of dollars.
TC.
And at no point in time they could say, here what, let we ease up the thing a little bit. You understand? I heard her speak about inflation, right? Because I just listened in detail. She spoke about inflation, and she spoke about inflation worldwide, right? When Marlon asked her, are we going to be feeling the blunt of the inflation? She said to Marlon, well, she cannot say for sure if we're going to feel the blunt of the inflation. What she can say is that because of the interest rate around the world in the major banks, right? The interest rate is being higher, right? If it is managed properly by our government, the inflation that is happening worldwide doesn't have to affect us as much as it's happening worldwide, because we are in a comfortable spot where finances is concerned. You understand?
TC, I want to ask you a question. You
Go
know
ahead.
what is a heritage stabilization fund?
The heritage, but she just explained that. They can't ask
I
me
want to give the meaning.
that is like a saving for the country.
The Heritage Stabilization Fund is a sovereign
saving.
wealth fund established by the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
The HSF serves two purposes: to stabilize the economy in response to volatility in the energy sector and to serve for future generations.
Right. Okay.
Right? Which
like
would have
basically
served its purpose for the past 3 years during COVID.
That's the purpose for the past 3 years for COVID?
But the heritage stabilization, so how people was surviving.
I wouldn't even go there now. Okay. All right. Okay, Naka.
Anyway.
All right, Naka.
But I gave you all what Mr. Rambaran would have said, what the facts that was given, and from the economists. So now I would like to hear from you, Trinidad and Tobago, your contribution, because you heard from 3 sides, not 2 sides alone, but from 3 sides.
Well, let's go to the phone lines.
And we're
hear
going
what
to
they
the
have to
phone
say.
lines.
Hi, good afternoon. Well, good evening. Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yeah, good evening.
Good afternoon.
Very family sorry for this, right?
Right.
So I was trying to get in the first half.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a let me just say, we understand certain things that was played in the first clip. And what I want to say is, we have to rock back and don't let the emotions get the better of us. So listen to this. The schools that were presented in the parliament, the ECC schools, were brand new schools that were built.
So sad was turned for those schools.
Of course it was.
All right.
And if Naka is saying that it was done and it continued to from the PNM, why those ECC schools are not open today? The Brian Lara Stadium was stopped under the UNC when it was started under the PNM, and for the duration of the UNC, people protested government, nothing was done on it because they say some conflict they had with it and the building of it and the soil and whatever. Right. The PNM came back in power and they choose to make that a priority to be done. And it was done. And I'm saying that the school was started under the PNM, and the PNM come back in power and reign for 8 years, why isn't those early childhood centers open? I work in a school today. A lady from she with her child. The school full. She says she's checking the whole essential, and she's not getting a school for her little child. That is how the situation is. So why the school not open? Right? The school where I live, right here, because of the earthquake, they had to rebuild the school. They built a prefab school, and the school exists up to today, and it is functional, fully air conditioned, and the school is working. Some of the schools was rebuilt, yes, but the ECC centers was brand new schools. Also, the 6 schools that they talk about was the high school. Those were brand new schools. He talked about one that he adding our wings. If you listen to the end of the clip, and that was so. Some of the schools, yes, was refurbished, right? We're not denying that, but the fact remains, as Stacey was saying, they still did the schools. They still did them. They still complete them. Which means that to me, that they show interest in the children and getting the schools done for the children. But why are some of these high schools that they built and the primary schools not open up to this day? They are abandoned and they was never used. They are brand new schools. And I'm challenging anybody who want to go with me. I'll carry them and show them all the schools. And is there something, listen, I see Nakai, I see your pressure being born up and you see that, because don't deny truth. Please, don't do it. Drive around the country and take a little tour and you will see all the schools. There was never no ECC schools, because that was something new that they had put on, add on to the school system, right? To try to get the ECC schools, because the Stovall and them, right, which is presently IO, they have a lot of ECC schools, right? The government was building new ones. Because
all right, caller, we wanna take as much calls as possible. All right, thanks for your contribution. Right. Yeah. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I didn't hear your clip, but ECC schools are early childhood centers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means. But the gentleman said they were started under the People's Partnership. No, sir. They were started under Mr. Manning and continued under the People's Partnership. All right, so let's move on. You asked, what did the Heritage and Stabilization did for us in 3 years? Well, partner, if globally oil price went down to $1 a barrel, and oil is our base. Think about this, TC. You're working taxi and you're going out the road every day, and you're looking for $100. And tomorrow morning you get up, and you go out the road, and instead of you get $10 a passenger to go to town to get 100, you get 1. Could you have your 100? Now that 100 now, it's money that you have to carry home. You pay the light bill, the cable bill, make the groceries, see about the children to go to school, buy books and uniform. And the 100 that you was now expecting, because of the volatility of the world at the time, you end up with $1. How are you going to manage that? So now you dip into your savings, which is called, and the only how you could dip into that is because your income has to fall under 50% of your estimated GDP. So let me say the $100 that you went out for, the only way you could go into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund is that you come home with under $45. You understand what I'm telling you? And that is how now you have the option to go in the bank and take a loan or take the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, and if you choose to, you could put it back and pay the bills, or you could take it, put it in the next bank, take a loan on it.
You're kind of all are wrong, but you're not telling me how it helped in the 3 years. I'm telling you.
Well, I just tell you how it helped in the 3 years because we didn't get money. Hold on.
He was making an analogy.
You understand?
I just paid that picture for you.
But you see, Bata, we are 1 hour, and listen, I don't want you to give me 6 minutes.
For you to understand?
6 or 7 minutes in conversation for you to give me 1 point.
What he was doing, he was trying to relate to layman's terms.
Huh?
What is so difficult for you to understand?
He was trying to put it in layman's terms.
Oh gosh, Naka. But Aria, you had 3 minutes to make a contribution, but I don't want you to kaima around the world to bring me back for 3 minutes.
But you asked that question. How did the Heritage and
how me coming home with $1 have to do with the Heritage and Civilization Fund?
Because the dollar is Trinidad and Tobago. So let me break it down to you. Trinidad and Tobago does expect every year I looking for $100 to pay fire, to pay police, to pay WASA, to pay public servants, to pay the same corporations to get them run. I looking for $1 every year to pay everybody because the government is the largest employer in Trinidad and Tobago. And to pay gas subsidy, pay light bill subsidy, pay your water subsidy. So I looking for $100 to pay all of that. But here what's going on. Today, I go out the road and my 100, I could only receive $1. So therefore, the only thing I have in order to pay all these people and keep the economy running is what is considered the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, which is my saving. And the only how I can do that is if my income falls under 45%. So that means I come home with only $45. I could go in the bank now and take out money to pay public servants, TSTT. You understand our logic now?
All right. And
right.
you know what
So
you see, you're trying to give me a dollar maxi kind of thing for me to have. I have education and I can understand, you know.
Right.
Right.
So you understand how it helps you for the 3 years now?
I want you to understand this as well. Right. That goes on for 1 month.
No.
Wait. You see, you give me an analogy so I can speak. That goes on for 1 month. So for 1 month, I have been under my $45 coming home. So I've been dipping into my saving for 1 month. Right? Right. It comes after now that things goes back to normal or a little better than normal. And I now starts to put money back into the saving that I took out from, right? And things get so nice that I am putting back more into my saving that I took out, right? Am I still under duress?
Yes.
I'll be right back. We have to take a break.
No, because
the views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
Catch all your favorite shows live on Instagram.
We're live on Instagram.
The Street 919 FM. What are you waiting for? Go check us out on Instagram today.
Them say we don't know how to marry, we just be worried.
This Father's Day, show your dad how much you love them by entering our Songs for Dad giveaway on the Street 919 FM. When you hear the Father's Day ad play, get ready to call in. You have 30 seconds to sing one song dedicated to your father. The most entertaining rendition wins. Be one of 20 people to win loads of prizes for your dad this Father's Day on the Street 919 FM.
Happy Father's Day to every man where they fight for their responsibility. Happy Father's Day to you.
Sponsored by Carib. It's the way we play.
This is the voice of Tuesday, Seventh-day Adventist. We are preaching Emergency Alert broadcast, which is from the Tuesday, Seventh-day Adventist Church. We will be featuring voices of brethren from different parts of the world, preaching the gospel, preaching prophecy as it relates to current events and the ending of the world. Listen to us on 91.9 FM every Sunday from 9:05 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Sundays. May God bless you as you learn the truth. In Jesus' name, amen.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282. or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
So we have one rule on this program here.
Yeah, Mr. Barataria, you can make a point, and I understand he was trying to put it in layman terms. But you see, I'm not telling you see the disrespect. I wouldn't have your call my co-host done.
No, he can't call back.
And that I wouldn't tolerate that. If you want to do whatever you want, put it up on your Facebook page or whatever, but you cannot call into the radio station.
Mr. Barataria can't call back.
You can't do that.
I'm not tolerating
that. Make your point because I understand I understand totally where you were coming from. I understand where you're trying to put it in the man.
You want to know. He cannot call back.
No, though I wasn't tolerating that.
He cannot call back. If anybody disrespect you, they can't call back here.
Yeah, I'm not tolerating that.
You understand? He cannot call back, and that's the end of that. He cannot call back.
Hi, caller.
Good
afternoon, Tissy.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
Afternoon, Naka.
Good evening.
Tissy, I'm sorry for you, boy, Tissy, but we're praying for you out here, boy. But trying to be disrespectful, I could never like the piano, buddy. They're too evil and they're too wicked. I'm going to have to go away fed up on them, boy.
All right, thank you.
That call, okay, that's now. Hi, good evening, welcome. Yeah, good evening.
I do like on I mean, you say okay. You know you agree with him. You understand? You say you're going to the news. You understand? I do like how you disrespect him. But then I was trying to get you. What I'm saying, if now building something and refurbishing something, it's two different prices, right? So why do you keep on saying building? Why do you keep on saying the bill, and not refurbished? So if the price for the building is the price for that the price for the stating the spend? If you understand what I'm telling you, when you say bill, when you say you refurbish a house, it's two different things, you know. The prices is two. We have got the prices. We're watching the school. Talking about how much school is doing. I watching the price. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to ask one question. Who is the ministry that build houses? I mean, I build schools. What ministry does do that?
What ministry is the ministry that builds schools?
The schools, yeah.
I don't fall under any ministry to build, you know. I think they give out the...
Who are dealing with building on the schools then?
That's on the ministry.
Ministry of Works?
Yeah, the ministry of Works.
Yeah, it has to fall under Ministry of Works.
A lot of pastors there, boy, and you're not checking on Ministry of Works when they was there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a serious thing. And so they're trying to cover the track where all the money was generated through there. That is what I'm watching. I ain't watching how much school you're there, I'm watching the building now. You're lying. The practice is different prices. I tell you what to do.
All right, caller. Thank you so much for your call. Yes, good. And that call get hung up. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon to you again, TC.
Yeah,
good afternoon to you, Naka.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good evening.
Naka, listening to you, you're a fighter, you know.
You're a fighter.
You want to be the next Aisha Welsh?
Not at all. I will always be Naka.
That had to come with real transparency and honesty, you know. But Naka, let me ask you this. You know who created the Heritage and Stabilization Fund?
I am now doing. Go ahead.
It's the UNC, the United National Congress that created the Heritage and Stabilization Fund.
Okay.
In this country.
All right.
After 60 years, the PNM, they never had no concern about the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. And I have a grandmother, just as you, I show you, we have a grandmother. And under the United National Congress and the People's Partnership, under Kamala Prasad Bisasa, she raised old age pension twice. So the citizens of this country benefited from that. Now, whilst people might come to defend, and I may disagree with you, you have your agenda, but whilst all might come to support and defend the Ministry of Finance, we're not asking ourselves questions. How come the Minister of Finance representing the people for 8 years, and he built a big tall tower in Port of Spain, and everybody keep a blind eye to that and say, well, how are you building these things for hundreds of millions of dollars, and we've seen millions of dollars missing from the Heritage and Stabilization Fund today, and we're not asking ourselves questions like that. And if we leave these things to pass and to go by, that money, you know how much schools that money could build? You know how much roads that money could pave in Trinidad and Tobago over here? And we're not asking ourselves anything, we're just making an excuse for a political party. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
We're just making an excuse for a political party that there for over 60 years and condemning a political party that stay 5 years. And that is not wrong. Do you know who created the Tobago House of Assembly, Naka? Is the UNC
you know. So I'm listening to you. You know.
The UNC do that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know the Equal Opportunity Act. Is the UNC what create that too? You see the place where party can go and get all them information and things? Is the UNC what create that too? And it's sad to know that a party that do so much for this country, because I know when the PNM was over there, my father used to be working for $2.50 an hour. And when the PNM, when Pastor Pande come over there, he raised it to $9. And so the minimum wage started to go up, so the old age pension started to go up, so the resources of this land started to benefit the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Let me be real and don't condemn a political party just because there's Indian people. Sorry for saying that, but that's the fact of it. We can't do them thing. That is not being a role model. That is not being a citizen.
I don't know how race getting this, or no. I really don't know how race getting that.
No, I really
don't know how race getting that. But before you go to another call, I want to just bring an article that from Thursday, the 26th of March, 2020, because you know, some people do not understand what the HSF has done for the past 3 years. And this article came on from Newsday. And the finance minister in 2020, the finance minister Cole Members said the early withdrawal from the Heritage and Stabilization Fund will keep people alive as TT was facing a tsunami with COVID-19. We can't wait a year. The amount of people that would die during that year that we can't wait until next year to draw from this fund. And anybody who says different is not a serious person. They are a joker. We was piloting the miscellaneous provisions, Heritage and Stabilization Fund, government saving bonds, and value-added tax bill in the House of Representatives on Wednesday, which would have been the 2020 Wednesday. He said the revenue downturn, whether caused by a fall in the price of crude oil or natural gas. He explained when there is a precipitous drop in the price of oil and gas, government could either reduce expenditure, which would result in sending thousands of people home, reductions in WASA subsidies, the removal of social support like the food card and disability grant. So they use the HSF to save the lives and the livelihood of others all again. And subsidies and removal of social support like the food card and disability grant, and no payments for suppliers, or do what we plan to do to keep people in jobs, to keep people alive, which is to access the HSF. Now you can take our next call.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to Sister Naka and Brother TC.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Tabakit here. Let me get into the editorial. Because I have a customary practice.
Because we're counting down time.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry I'm getting late, but let me respect your editorial and let me see quick if I could get into the editorial. So we're talking about the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. and in the backdrop of the economist Marlene Arts. Now, if you listen carefully to her, she cannot say if it's a fact. But let me say this to Sister Naka. A loss is a loss in any way. So she acknowledged there was a loss. But let me jump quickly into the 3 years where they were talking about saving the economy. One of the things that the government didn't tell us, the funding that came in from the international funding. Before I leave, you remember we have a non-disclosure agreement within the energy sector. And we will get the answer how much the government is getting. So, Sister Naka, I think, and Brother Tis, come back to this. Even though we had some runoff, and one of the things I will advise you all here, let people stick to the editorial. You play a clip. I think it's time now that you tell the callers, look, stick to the editorial, because people like Tabaki really want to flesh out. This is a pertinent discussion, and we had a lot of wild talk all over. So, Sister Naka, if you could address that, if you could answer me there, what with all the grants that the government get within the 3 years of COVID, and in terms of the disclosure agreement sector, that speaks directly to the Health and Stabilization Fund. And Mali Arts, I listened to her properly. She didn't say so. What she told you, yes, there was a loss. Tabaki don't know.
Thank you so much, Tabaki. Good afternoon, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yeah, heavy here.
Yeah,
I said I'm coming up in my 2 cents. I've been listening all evening. Right. And I was it wasn't started under the UNC, it was started under Patrick and the PNM.
That will leave him.
Right. However, the UNC had contributed a lot more than in the Characters and Civilization Fund when they was there. They put more money in it and all of that, right? So it grew under the UNC, even though it was started by Patrick Manning, right? Because I don't like to give misinformation.
In 2007?
Yeah.
Yes, 2007.
Yeah,
so I want to know how UNC.
When we had the windfall when oil and gas was at its highest. Yeah. However, I just want the pandemic, right? The excuse of using the money from the Heritage and Civilization Fund is an excuse. They will say they have to use from the Heritage and Civilization Fund. They did not have to use money from the Heritage and Civilization Fund during the pandemic, simply because during the pandemic they have received over, I don't want to misquote figures here, but some of the US from the World Bank / the people from the World Health Organization, and these people sent money to deal with the pandemic to our country, right? We got a lot of donations from these countries to deal with the pandemic, right? And it was like a lot of US, in the millions, right? It was US. So I don't think we had us dip into the Heritage and Civilization Fund for that. However, right, the details of what was taken off from the Heritage and Civilization Fund and the reason given doesn't add up. The math's not math. Right? You don't have that information because most of that information is not disclosed to the public. So let us not speculate. Okay? So I just want to say that we don't draw our opinions on what we think the money gone away do, right? Until we get that information, right? However, there is a Freedom of Information Act where we could try to get that information concerning that. Going back to the schools, I just want to go back to the schools quickly, right? Going back to the schools, right? The UNC, as Preacher said, they did a lot of the preschools, the ECCs, right? From brand new. However, a lot of schools needed to be refurbished, and when they tried to refurbish them, schools had to break down and build over. And if you have to break down a structure to build over, most likely is a new build. However, the land and everything was already there, so you can't say it's maybe a new building, but it's not a new school. If you see where I'm coming from. We painted on words and we painted politics. This word doesn't really make any sense. As far as I'm concerned, taxpaying dollars, these things, not the UNC, nor the PNM. We, our people, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, build in the UNC bill this and the PNM bill that. No, we build it. This is not Trinidad and Tobago, right? So I just want to leave it with that. Thank you very much. Enjoy the day.
Good evening, welcome.
Pleasant good day to you, TC. Good day to you, Naka. Good day to Trinidad and Tobago. Are you hearing me clearly?
Yes.
All right, I'm not here to bash the People's National Movement because where I came from the belly of the PNM. I born into PNM. I came from Laventille West. And I'm also a member of the party and also screened for the party as well. But when you looked at the era that we're in right now, compared to the PNM back in the days, I could never back or I could never talk on behalf of the PNM again because everything for the youth right now going down the drain. High food prices, tax, everything. And when I hear people now trying to bawl and scream for PNM because it's tribal, because the great-grandmother was PNM, nobody could speak PNM more than me. Because you know why? My mother and father worked for Port of Spain Corporation, may their soul rest in peace, and they get housing under Dr. Eric Williams. So nobody's more PNM than me and get back for PNM. But we need to be transparent in this country, and PNM have to go out waiting to see the cutoffs for local and general election. Rowley must go. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
This Paul has really cracked me up, you know.
Hi, good evening.
Paul, go on.
Nobody should be bothered about the stabilization fund. And this caught up with school. The UNC was voted out under the People's Partnership with the way they handled almost everything in government, in schools. They're coming back now to make school a big thing as though not occupying school was a big gap in the development of people here. That's nonsense. The main reason UNC was voted out, and by the way, Heavy, UNC borrowed money to put in the stabilization fund. They borrowed, even though oil prices was above the threshold where they could have put extras. They borrowed the way they were sending. UNC borrowed money, $33 billion over the threshold.
I think it was 30. I think it's 30. I think it's 30.
With Kunji and them talking about school and this and that and the other. I had time in school with Kunji and there. I know for a fact that our country was in ICU after Kamla Prasad, who started work 1 o'clock in the day, leave our country in real problem. 8 years. Dr. Rowley said when he won the election, we have been pushed back 30 years because of the breakdown in the spending and the development of our people. Only 8 years gone, and we had COVID in that. I don't know, only lucky. In fact, we were blessed that Kamla Prasad Bissessa, who spent $6 million doing a helicopter ride for us here, that could have got to poor people, was not in charge of our country during that time. So me have business with the country and the school and everything. I know, Prudent and Heavy and TC, yes, who's the man on the street? Who's the man on the ground we talking about? Who's them? How come the man on the ground?
He's supposed, we don't know.
Yeah, I want to know who's the man on the ground. But let me tell you something, TC. Yeah. You go in operation. You go in San Francisco and see people employed the PLL in those places. When they go there, I don't want to bad talk them employees, but you see there are a lot of things all they don't know. Stop taking up for the man on the ground. Because
so the negligence of the employees falls under who?
Negligence of the employees, brother.
You just said you don't want to talk about the things that goes on in there. So if it's the things that is going on in there, then it has to be the employees, not so?
Well, we go talk about that next day.
All right. Well, and that is a very simple question.
If I grow up and I reach 18 years and 19 years and 20 years, you have to be a man on the ground. In PNM, the PNM, the real prudent PNM people, they are on the ground. You see the lazy set of people we have, African people, that the people you talk about on the ground. 60 years and people on the ground.
You see, and that's how they put your mind to believe, because they put you to believe that black people don't want anything. That is why black people don't give black people anything. Because we don't want nothing.
Let me tell you something. One of the things that's lacking in the movement of African people is something called
we have this way that we don't. I can't listen to that. I cannot listen to you talk about black people too lazy and black people to this and black people to that. That is why black people don't get. One of the most lazy set of people out here is the people who have the money. How them get the money and them lazy so? It's only we that sit down and blame ourselves.
All right, but we don't.
I'm telling you, it's only, not being real enough. It's only we that stand up and say black people don't want nothing and black people this and they're too lazy. And if you go in the health sector, right, it's the black one and them who lazy and them who are doing the work. If you go down in works, it's the same thing. But then there's people in charge of them, not so? Am I wrong or right? If you come here and you does not open that mic and speak, will IWER George pay you?
No.
Huh?
No.
Then there is people above them that needs to get the job right. You understand?
All right. Well, we're down to the wire. We just have a few seconds before we close off. Thank you very much for staying locked on with us and giving us your contributions. Those any comments on YouTube and Facebook. Tomorrow, you know, we have an interview. We have two interviews tomorrow. And I will be coming with my hot rebuttal for you. I ain't sleeping tonight. I ain't sleeping tonight. I'm coming with a rebuttal.
Well, all right. I would wait to hear. Of course, Sierra and Tobago, we had to stop blaming ourselves now. Because we voting and putting somebody in charge, right? Every time we dip our finger, we put the yellow in charge or we put the red in charge, we put them there for a reason. Keep it safety, auntie.
All right, love.
Why are you doing your supporters that?